Good afternoon, everyone. Traveling around Europe this week, I was reflecting on the title of this conference, Game Changers, and what constitutes a game changers. And actually, I would differ from my colleagues and say that the reality is it's not business that changes the game. Yes, they come up with ideas and they produce products, but the real game changer is the consumer. The real game only changes when someone embraces an idea and buys a product. The game changer is the consumer. Of course, I hear you say that that has always been true. The consumer has always been the decision maker. But I believe that today, more than ever, it's the consumer. The very extended recession that we've all lived through, the speed of change brought to us through the digital infrastructure has accelerated and accentuated this, such that consumers are both more savvy and less brand loyal at the same time. So what I believe is the only way we can build resilience for the future of all our businesses is by being truly relevant to how consumers live their lives today and how consumers are going to live their lives tomorrow. So let me offer two implications of that thought for us as business leaders. Firstly, I believe we need a richer, more instinctive understanding of the consumer. In this era of big data, especially in this era of big data, it's often a possibility to get lost in all the numbers and analysis, because we know more and more about the consumer every day. But while hard data, yes, provides us lots of insights, it can and risks helping us create a better yesterday rather than a better tomorrow. So yes, we need to use data wisely, but what we look for, what we try to do, is follow the softer threads of what's happening out there with the consumers, to listen to the quieter noises behind the data that's not coming through from all that analysis. We need to rely to some extent still on our gut instinct of what's right for the consumer aspiration. And let me give you one example from the Coca-Cola world of when we spectacularly failed to obey this maximum. In 1985, in the US, we launched New Coke. New Coke was possibly the most researched product launch in the history, certainly our history, but probably in the history of all product launches. We had data coming out of our ears. But we had failed to listen properly to what the consumer was saying to us, and we had failed to understand what they really believed in and aspired to. The rest of that story is business history. The second implication I would offer is that we need to reevaluate our appetite for risk. Ironically, what we believe is in uncertain times that is the time to take more risk, that the uncertainty itself presents more opportunity and therefore more risk needs to be taken. As an example, Coca-Cola again. As a global company, 128 years of history, one of the most valuable trademarks in the world, you can understand and imagine that we have a lot of people who spend a lot of time trying to stop young brand managers doing anything stupid with the trademark. Well, imagine you're in that meeting. Along comes this Australian brand manager and says, I've got a brilliant idea for a marketing campaign. I would like to take all the bottles and cans, I'd like to take off the trademark, and I'd like to replace it with names. I'd like to put Bruce and Sheila and Dave and Nick and Ed and Sharon and Tracy, and I want to replace all of them. Risk aversion, legal advice, many ways we could have killed this idea. But luckily, there was an instinct in there that said, the consumer is looking for more personalization. The consumer is looking for products and brands they can interact with, create their own experiences, and share that content through social media. So we embraced the idea. We ran it across now more than 80 countries. Here in the UK alone last year, we sold 100 million bottles and cans with people's names on them. So in short, what am I saying? It's the consumer that's the game changer. The key is to have a very distinct data, but instinctive understanding of the consumer, take more risk, remain relevant. It's being relevant that builds resilience, and in the end, for us, resilience is relevance, and relevance is resilience. Thank you.